Episode 9 of the Babysitters Club TV show is Hello Camp Moosehead, Part 1. This is going to be a hard episode to talk about. I thought it was okay. I didn't really understand it. So I went to summer camp when I was the same age as the Babysitters Club members, and it was nothing like this episode. So it was very different from what this episode shows. Maybe summer camp has changed since I was a kid, or they do summer camps differently on the East Coast. But the episode just sort of threw me for a loop. One thing I thought was super weird was the ages. So you have the teenagers, like the Babysitters Club, and then you have kids that are 6, 7, 8 years old. And I don't get why they're at the same summer camp. Why are the teenagers and elementary school kids in the exact same camp? That seems super weird to me, because, when I went to summer camp in middle school, it was just middle schoolers. There were no little kids there. There were no older teenagers there. It was very much age segregated. So I thought that was kind of strange. Maybe it ties in with Kristy's storyline. Each girl gets her own storyline. So Christy wants to be a counselor in training. The camp director says, no, you can't. You have to be 16. And Kristy's like, I'm a really good babysitter. And she tries to show off her great babysitting skills. But the counselor says, no, you're not 16. You can't do it. End of story. And that was basically Kristy's storyline. We never got to see any counselors in training, did we? I don't think we had these counselors in training. At my summer camp, it was sort of just adults that were the counselors, and that seemed to be what it was like in this episode. It seemed to be like we had these two adults that were the counselors. There didn't seem to be any 16-year-olds being counselors in training like Christy wants to be. We didn't really see that. Maybe I was wrong. So, let's see. So Christy and Stacey were together for this episode, which was an interesting idea. We didn't see much of them hanging out. Their two storylines didn't intersect, which is kind of a shame, because what we've seen so far in the series is Christy, Marianne, and Dawn are sort of a group of 3, and then Claudia and Stacey are a group of 2, and they don't really hang out with each other all that much. So it's an interesting idea to put the girls in different cabins and force them to interact with each other. I don't think the idea worked very well. So like I said, Stacey and Christy didn't really interact. And Claudia and Dawn, I'm sorry, but I don't think that was a good idea. I would have done Dawn and Stacey. I think Dawn and Stacey, that would have been the ideal pairing. So do Dawn and Stacey, do Claudia and Christy. I feel that would have been better. Because Claudia and Dawn didn't really talk to each other. The storyline seemed to be Claudia doesn't understand anything Dawn's saying. I'm not sure that works, because Claudia should know a lot of big words. She lives with Janine, and Claudia should understand a lot of these artistic concepts that Dawn is talking about, because Claudia's in love with art, and Dawn should actually have enough emotional intelligence to understand that somebody has no idea what she's talking about, and she should be able to rephrase things. But no, she keeps talking about spirit stuff. I don't know, I thought that was weird. So, I feel like, Claudia and Dawn probably should have done a better job of communicating with each other. So Dawn's storyline is that she is the announcer for the camp. So every morning, announcer for the camp, something else I'm totally unfamiliar with, was not at my summer camp. So apparently there's somebody that wakes up the camp every morning and reads the announcements. And Dawn gets in trouble because she keeps adding these weird things. She's like, hey, it's a good morning, but not for the people in Central America who are dying because of climate change, you murderers. That was kind of dark. So, no, the storyline is that Dawn keeps adding things like that to the morning announcements, and the counselor gets mad at her. I don't know why the counselor doesn't fire her. Really, you think after the first mistake, Dawn would have been fired instead of just letting Dawn keep doing the morning announcements. Is there a reason the counselor can't read the morning announcements herself? It doesn't seem like the morning announcements are all that complicated. I don't know. So Claudia's story is that she is with, she's taking art classes, and they get sort of upset because in order to do tie-dyeing, you need to give $50 to the commissionary. And I've never heard of a commissionary before. I don't even know what that is. I know that in Batman there's a police commissioner Gordon, but I don't think that has anything to do with this. So again, that was just another summer camp thing, which just completely confused me. Why are kids expected to bring $50 to camp? I think I brought maybe $20 to camp at most. There was like this camp store where you could buy really cheap things for like $1 or $2, nothing more than $5. People weren't expected to spend a ton of money in camp. In fact, I think the only reason my parents gave me money was so I could call them on the payphone and let them know I wasn't dead. So I thought it was weird that they expected kids to bring a ton of money. And then she complains that people had to pay extra money for horseback riding lessons. That makes total sense to me. That's how it works in real life, though. I know that because the parents have to fill out forms for horseback riding. You have to fill out separate release forms for horseback riding, and they cost extra money. So parents have to do that ahead of time. So it totally makes sense that, you know, people would have had to arrange the horseback riding lessons in advance. Claudia and Dawn think this is a terrible economic injustice. So they take the little kids out to the field. Again, why are the teenagers and the little kids in the exact same art class? That seems really weird. So they take the kids out to the field and they do natural art, which is basically we make pictures with flowers, which was nice. They made a cute little picture. But then the evil camp counselors show up and they say, "What are you doing? This is not allowed. You didn't run this by the commissionary first." So they put a stop to their art classes, and Claudia gets remanded, whatever that means. I think it means she's grounded. Maybe that's a special type of grounding they do in camp. It looks like she just got locked up in her room. So I'm pretty sure I know where this storyline is going. Have you seen the Simpsons episode Camp Krusty, where they go to summer camp and there's this evil director and the kids sort of have an uprising and overthrow the evil director? I'm pretty sure that's where this is going. I'm pretty sure that the kids are going to have an uprising and they're going to kick out the director, and then Christy's going to do some sort of cool babysitting move, and the director is actually going to begrudgingly give her respect to Christy for being a great babysitter. I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to see in part 2. So I think the other storyline is Marianne's. Marianne is in a cabin by herself. I think that kind of worked in the book because Chrissy was in a cabin by herself with a bunch of girly girls, and that worked because Chrissy's in an environment where she's just completely a fish out of water. But here, Marianne is with these 3 girls she doesn't know, and then we never see them again. They just sort of stare at her, and then we never see her cabin mates again. She does make friends with a new girl named Laine, which I thought was great. It's weird because it reminded me a lot of book 4, where when Marianne first meets Dawn and they have this instant connection and they become best friends. So it reminded me of that. I think that Marianne and Laine actually had a better instant connection than Marianne and Dawn did in episode 4. I don't know, I guess Laine is just much better at becoming an instant friend than Dawn was, because Dawn sort of, yeah, when Dawn and Marianne became instant friends, Marianne's like, "My friends are all dead," and Dawn's like, "Ha ha ha ha, that's grim." And so I didn't really feel an instant connection. You know, that's kind of dark humor. So when Marianne and Laine become friends, we don't have dark humor. We don't have dark humor. It's them just becoming friends. So it worked better. So Laine is Stacey's ex-best friend. That's sort of like the final third of book 3. So I imagine they took that storyline for episode 3 and just put it in this episode. So Laine and Stacey are mad at each other and they dislike each other and they fight, and it's awkward about the diabetes thing because that's sort of what ruined their friendship. So at the end of the episode they get into a big fight and they both push each other in a patch of poison ivy, and actually that was in the book. So I can see where the storyline is going too. Laine and Stacey are going to follow the storyline from book 3, and basically they'll have a big serious talk and become best friends, and you know, maybe they'll fight a little bit because they're forced to be by themselves. They're isolated because they both have poison ivy. But I'm pretty sure that's where that story is going. And Marianne's other storyline, she's trying to put on a play, and Logan is there, and she's kind of flirty with Logan, so I'm pretty sure we're going to get some sort of resolution to that. We're going to have more of Marianne and Logan in the next episode. Karen says the theater is haunted. There are a couple of scary incidents with the theater. I thought it was kind of weird that they have a theater in the middle of nowhere. Like, this camp has this building and nobody uses it for anything ever. Like, do they not use it for auditoriums or something? No, they just got an abandoned theater for whatever reason. Oh, Mallory and Jessi were in this episode too. We had a little bit of Jessi. She didn't talk much. Mallory, she talked a little bit more than Jessi, but she was just super excited to be Marianne's helper. And that was basically it for Mallory. So I'm going to guess that Mallory and Jessi are officially invited into the Babysitters Club at the end of part 2. So I'm just making all my guesses for what's going to happen in part 2. Is part 2 going to surprise me? Are we going to have totally different storylines? Are they going to go for the grim, dark humor and just have everyone die of the plague? No, they can't do that. But I will be eagerly awaiting episode 2 to see what happens next.